we are joined by our friend Benjyfishy. What's up, man? Congratulations, dude.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for having me as well.
Dude, thank you for coming on. I mean, I've been watching you the last couple of months, man, and I'm just like completely mind blown at the like insanity of your rise, right? All the way back to when you first started playing with MrSavage's, when I was like, oh, who the heck is this guy? And all of a sudden, you're a dual World Cup qualifier, bro.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy ever since I started doing with Savage. Everything's just blown up.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, congratulations, man. And again, thank you so much for coming on. I hope this will be fun and educational for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to start this. I basically just picked out, for the viewers, I just picked out 4 games. We're going to go through them with Benjy and just ask a bunch of questions. So my first question for you is your early game kind of philosophy, especially dropping here in Happy Hamlet. You get contested by people like, I'm gonna pause for a second, you get contested like by Boyer, Kripa, some really good players here, right? So how do you handle that? I always talk to my stream about like splitting certain spots and then just trying to get away and make sure you never 50-50, all that sort of stuff. What is your philosophy dropping here in Hamlet?
I mean, we both normally got our usual spots unless those spots are contested. So I land like a bit where the hoverboards are, and he lands blue house, which is pretty much. So we land.
It's like the south. That's like the entire.
So it's the south side.
Spot,
yeah. So one of us is on the left side of the south spot, and the other one's on the right side of the south spot.
Yeah.
And what we do, we loot in between each other, get at least that side for loot, and then if we want to dip, like if we don't, let's say there's more than one team.
Yeah.
And they're not fighting. Let's say they're not fighting. They're just looting. We would normally just dip and go to like huts or something, like northwest of Happy. We don't normally contest. If there's more than one team, at least if there's more than one team, we don't contest unless they start off fighting, and we can third party.
So it's like just a third party thing, and cool. That's a lot of loot in the bottom side. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. We normally get it uncontested the bottom sides.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
Nice.
And then like how often do you actually fight?
All I've got right now is shotgun.
Like those really good players.
They don't go there as much as they used to. They've switched more to, I think,
pushed them off,
Diner.
Huh? You pushed them off.
Yeah. Yeah, they're starting to go Diner now instead of Happy. So yeah, it's quite nice. I think the only pro team that really contests us every game is Red Rush and Chris.
Okay.
I do not have an AR.
There's 2 duos here.
Okay.
And like when you do end up fighting one of those pro teams, are you thinking about what their strats are, or are you just doing your normal thing?
I can fight.
Not really, because we don't normally like. Obviously, Red Rush and we know Red Rush and Chris go there, but we can't predict what other teams might go there randomly.
Yeah.
So we normally just stick to our normal thing. What I think is really important early game is maybe not like I think splitting is really important. So normally the strat is I go on top of Clock Tower and he pushes or Savage pushes, and they're always focused on Savage. And then I can normally get 1 or 2 AR shots in, or maybe even kill somebody, which is really useful. So I think it's like splitting, like having not. I'm trying to word it.
Yeah, it's like positioning, right? You have to.
Yeah, having
one person gets like some spot that's very advantageous, right? I like to call them the positions of strength. Like Clock Tower is super high, and they can't really push you, and then Savage can do whatever he wants, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so this fight, I don't know how it actually. Let's just watch it. No, if I have any questions, we'll go back through it.
Right there, on my red marker.
This is a third party, right? So
we can launch pad on them.
We were gonna push this.
Sure, let's do it.
We were gonna take the launch pad and push them.
Right here, on me.
But I saw that one started building, like one built a wall like right there, and you can tell it was looking towards us.
Yeah.
So
we
tried
to ourselves now.
Yeah, we would have got lasers. So
3 minis, a big, and a slurp.
Nice.
You got a few tags, and there's a lot of people who like legit. They'll get those tags and they'll have to engage, but just the risk of you getting shot there is enough for you to turn around and not take that, right?
There's a med kit in here.
Okay. I got sleep.
The other thing is like Happy takes forever to loot. Is that ever an issue for you guys?
Normally we keep an eye on Storm, and not actually. We know because since I land hoverboards, I always check because there's also a quad spawn there.
Yeah.
So I always check if there's a quad and how many hoverboards are there. And if there's a quad, then we can obviously stay longer to loot, because then we can just quad rotate.
I feel like they're just having a scuffed fight over there.
And then in the situation where you are contested though, that sometimes doesn't work out, especially if like, you leave.
Yeah.
So
We might rotate early, but at the huts that we rotate to, there's also hoverboards there. So we've got a lot of places where we can rotate and get movement, like items, or not items, but like movement stuff.
Vehicles and stuff like that.
Someone just went
Cool.
They probably,
And in terms of loot path in Hamlet, going up the, I always wonder if like you guys think about specifically the efficiency of like running around, like what's the fastest way to get around here? What's the fastest way to loot the clock tower and stuff like that? Do you guys think about that, or am I just tripping out?
Not really. I mean, I always, if I push up clock tower, I always just, because there's a chest spawn at the top, and then there's just a ground spawns like a bit down. But if we're pushing somebody, I always, when I go on top of clock tower, I always go for the chest if there is one. But no, I don't specifically find the fastest way to loot stuff.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna skip out of early game real quick. You ever feel like you like leave Happy with not what you need?
Oh yeah, a lot. If we're contested by lots of teams, it can get really bad.
Yeah, and that's the reason why it's like not. Yeah, I mean obviously it's good, but it's not like crazy, right? Just because it evens out. There's this argument on Twitter all the time, like, oh, Loot Lake is so good, like it's so freaking good, and then somebody like Saf and Tate come and they're like, it actually sucks because how many people come? It's the same thing with Happy, right?
Yeah, same thing with Happy, especially with all like the. I'm not sure you saw, there was like not drown, but like we always meet before World Cup. Mongo and Micho tweeting about how good Happy was, and then me and Savage started talking about how good Loot Lake was, and we just decided to delete all the tweets, just so. But like, even I don't know. Getting contested, I feel like you have to, if you want good loot off spawn, you've got to be contested, or like you got to go to a spot where other people want to go because there's good loot. If you go somewhere that's bad loot but you're uncontested, I don't think it's worth it.
Yep.
Because you don't set yourself up for the rest of the game.
Yeah, or there's something that like there's a drift board where you can, or a baller that you can just rotate around all the different loot spots. I always say that like every loot spot can be viable if you do the right thing after it, like unless you're just landing on like some stupid shack. But even then, there's possibilities, right? You can go to a different spot right here, and
I mean, you could have good rotates, for sure.
Cool. Okay, so once you're leaving your spot, what's the idea here is, for me, it's always been get center zone. Is that always your goal, or is there certain spots that you're looking to try to loot on your way out?
We do have like little spots that we rotate out to just to loot, and like
shack
and
right
to
here,
check.
for example.
Yeah, shack sometimes has a ball, ammo crates and stuff. We don't. Oh no, we sort of just wait until we see where the next zone is. Normally with Happy, you can't really get center zone. It's way too far unless we actually get zone. But yeah, we just focus on like, I guess, looting a bit outside of Happy, just like small little spots.
Do you ever push shifty or anything like that? Right before for looking for kills specifically?
No, not looking for kills specifically. We only go there if we're forced to go there, and like especially in pro customs, Issa and Camo go there. Yeah. And we do not fighting Issa and Camo is not fun. Yeah, it's not good.
I can imagine. I can absolutely imagine. Okay, so just looting the little outskirt spots. But so in general though, like at this point in the game, is the fighting done for you guys, or you just, or if there's an opportunity to fight like at a safe spot, are you gonna do that?
If we don't normally push somebody without like having a reason for it. We like, if I laser somebody or if Savage laser somebody and we see that it's like safe to go to, like there's a chance that we'll go to it, especially if we have like a GL or something,
Yeah.
and we know we can stop them from healing.
Yeah.
Then if we will definitely push.
So stopping them from healing is a big thing for you guys. Then you're thinking about that. Okay, interesting. I did think about that, but like
Wait, can I take P90?
didn't have. I would never have that as a status call from my teammate, right? Oh, let's stop him from healing. Like when I'm about to push somebody. That's cool. Interesting. Cool. All right, just gonna skip a little bit, I think, unless you think there's anything interesting for people.
No.
Oh, cannons. How do you not bug out with cannons? How are you not freaking out every time you use a cannon?
It's like there's actually it doesn't really happen too much in these pop-ups, but in pro customs with tons of people alive, it can actually happen a lot. Like once
so you
we
think it's based on, like,
cannon,
the server conditions.
yeah. At least like not. I mean, there's a bug where you're not able to build or do anything after you use the cannon.
Yeah. That I can see server conditions for sure.
Yeah. But in these games, there isn't a problem with that. But there is I'm not sure. I haven't had the bug where you go in like a different direction before. I'm not sure.
So you're not scarred and
No.
Some people are.
Yeah, Tyovsky in
goodness.
ESL.
That was so funny. You see his clip the other day where he landed on the tire too?
I saw it on the tires. That was
The weirdest stuff happens to that guy, man.
I've got a heavy sniper.
Right. This to me seems like a really shitty position. Just down low like this, no building or anything like that. Is the idea just turtle because there's people on both sides? Make sure you can start rotating in. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Right now, we're just trying to get to Pleasant so we can have a building to replace stuff and not waste any mats. But we want to like take it slowly. Like if we think that somebody's gonna spray us at some point, we'll just stop. We will stop rotating and just wait a bit until we know that we're safe to rotate.
And how do you deal with the situation then when somebody does spray you and then they decide not to leave you, even if they don't get tags? You know, people psycho on you all the time. Is that because then taking it slow kind of backfires?
Yeah, right? Oh no, there's not much to like do, or not much to do. Well, like there's nothing you can really do apart from like if they push you just randomly, then you just gotta fight them. You know, like. Look for picks, look for a bit of damage that you can get on them that might scare them away. Like this, if you hit somebody with like an AR or something, they might just stop pushing because they don't want to fight you.
Yeah.
After they've been tagged. But there's not much to do if somebody just W keys you. You just sort of have to fight them.
Word. And all right, I always say that if you don't have mobility, you need to fight for mobility. I already asked you the question about like pushing people at this stage of the game. I would never say push anybody because that's crazy. But if you don't have a rift to go, you don't have a launch pad, you don't have any mobility or anything like that, are you just waiting towards like fifth zone, half in, half out until you can start pushing somebody for that impact kill where you can get that mobility?
I don't think as much in duos we push somebody for mobility. Like in solos, at least more for me. I'd push people like if I have no mobility. But in duos,
you just have more mats, so it's like easier to rotate a little bit.
It's for sure easier to rotate. In solos, it's a lot different.
Yeah,
it's pretty hard to win a game without like getting any mobility throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
But in duos it's easier. So yeah, we don't normally push people for mobility.
Cool. We already talked about going to the building. I'm curious why specifically you took basement instead of modern or pushing the gas or pushing the doghouse or anything like that. It's just because basement is.
I think it might have been Savage's cool. Savage does a lot of calls like he likes places where you can like easily rotate or where there's stuff with like trees in the way. So when we do need to rotate, it'll be easier to rotate like through stuff. But yeah, Savage does the calls for like where we want to go normally in the zone.
They're in modern.
So he does everything in terms of like rotation calls?
I mean, not like during this part of the game, yeah. But end game, it can be different.
Did you guys discuss that? Like, hey, you're gonna make these calls, or is that just something that came out organically?
I think it came out pretty organically because he's always been like a really smart player. So I think it's.
I mean, you're a pretty smart player too. Like...
Yeah. I guess, but I don't know. I like following his calls a lot. It's good. His
Cool.
calls are really good. So I'm confident it like. Yeah, I could call, but I think we're used to him calling and everything. So
Nice.
changing it, there's not much point in changing it.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, it clearly works, right?
Yeah.
Clearly works. All right, so
What do you have?
Storm Surge.
80.
That's a hot topic for a lot of people, and I feel like most pros have figured it out. So, what's your approach to Storm Surge throughout the game? Are you just constantly, whenever you see somebody looking for a tag, so that you stay above? Because you guys don't have any kills yet, right? You got the tags early. Storm Surge is probably gonna tick soon, right? 50 and 5th zone, I think is the threshold.
Yeah, I mean, if we see somebody flying, or if we see there's this place where we can get tags like for free, like where there's almost zero chance of them being able to fight back or something, then yeah, we'll go for the tags for sure.
Yeah,
there's not much point not to, apart from AR.
The other thing is, like, you guys are probably almost never under Storm Surge because you're always both fighting at Hamlet and you're pretty aggressive, right?
Yeah, that's also a good thing about getting kills or spawn.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're set up for Storm Surge.
If they're smart,
and also it gives you good points as well.
Yeah, clearly the points, the Storm Surge, Happy is like a spot where, like, I feel like if I get contested by one team, I'm happier than if I don't get it contested just because of how long it takes to loot. But then again, I only dropped there a few times and I was like, this takes too long. I don't like this spot. You know what? MrSavage's and Benjy can have it. I'm not going to contest them. No, we're good.
I think Discord's lagging a bit. I've got a red bar.
Okay, let me...
you might maybe change the region or something.
Yeah, I'll change the region real quick.
Yeah. I'm guessing launch. Yeah, same. Ding 63.
Is that better?
That's good now. Yeah, that's good.
You still see share screen?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, cool. Cool.
They're gonna rotate into
From what I've seen so far, you guys are like the best team at finding the people to gatekeep and like finding the right people to shoot at. And then the other question is like, how?
Look at the guy on top.
Let me pause real quick. I think this is a little involved. How do you guys always feel comfortable taking as many shots and being as free as possible with how you look for these picks? Because when I watch, lesser skilled players, and even when I play myself sometimes, I feel like whenever I go for stuff, I end up getting focused to shit, like all over the place. Yeah, exactly. Lyricism's in chat right now saying, because whenever I do this shit, I get sniped. Like, snipe, focus, get thrown clingers at you, stinks all over the place. Like, how does that happen to you? And like,
yeah. I mean, I don't think there's a way to particularly prevent it. I think shooting at people where they're not in a good position, like right now I'm shooting at somebody who's coming in from Storm, he's no shield, there's no much, like, there's no chance that he's gonna shoot back at me, because if he does he's gonna die to the Storm. But and also blocking yourself off from like other places where you can get sniped and stuff. Like, if you know you're gonna focus one position, you can wall off where you're gonna get where you might get sniped from or something.
Yep.
So yeah, just being safe when you're tagging people or shooting people is good.
Look at the guy on top. He's white. Dead.
Nice. Too easy, bro. Too easy.
Yeah, another guy. Two guys coming from Storm.
I was just pointing like this, that when you ADS on the wall right there, I think that's freaking dope. People look through the wall or whatever, but not everybody ADSs to get that extra little peek.
No.
Sick.
Oh, dynamites. Didn't.
Wait, I think
we're fine. Hit 100 on this guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna sink.
He's gonna getting tags.
So something I want to talk about, and I'm not sure this is the right time to talk about it yet, but everybody is talking about your comms right now. every single person.
Okay, yeah, holding. Got it.
What about it? What like?
I like just how clean it is. Like you never have those moments where something is worthless to say or anything like that. And I haven't seen what people are talking about just yet because I haven't actually gone through these VODs myself yet. But obviously, when I watched you guys before, it's really clean. There's no over talking. You're always saying the important stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, I try and sometimes I do have a problem a bit with my comms. Sometimes I can repeat stuff too much. I'm trying to work on it, but it's quite hard. It's quite natural for me to call out a lot.
Yeah. But you're probably of the mindset like I am always of the mindset that more comms is better, even if it's overcoming. I'd rather have overcoming than less comms, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think coming a lot can be really good, but not coming like too much, so it like floods everything.
Yeah. Yep.
So the other person can't call.
And then my other question is, how do you actually work on your comms? Like, because obviously you just play, but is there ever a moment where you can actually like I think there's a way to practice comms. I haven't actually tried it, but I always tell people, hey, you can actually practice comms. Like you can figure out how to talk while shooting. You can figure out how to do these things. You can use different words. Do you ever think about that? Or are you thinking about how to improve your comms?
Should I take it?
I think a way to improve comms is going through your own VODs and just listening to your own comms. Like if you think there's like an easier way to say something, like it can definitely help by watching your own VODs and just hearing what you're actually saying, and yeah.
So do you do that a lot, or?
I do. I watch my VODs a lot. And that's how I picked up that I talk too much. Sometimes I repeat too much stuff, but yeah.
Alright, so you clutch up in this game like crazy, I'm pretty sure, unless I picked the wrong VOD like a bot, but that would be embarrassing.
I did alright this game.
Okay. Alright, then on the topic of comms, and we'll watch a game where MrSavage also clutches up. What do you want from your duo right now in terms of comms? Is there anything you want? Do you want him to shut up? Do you want him to be specifically looking at certain things? Or is he just there for moral support? Like
yeah, I mean, so before I duo with Savage, I duo with somebody called Goofy, and we wouldn't talk when your duo partner's dead. So and when I started duoing with Savage, he like didn't do that. He always talked and gave comms even while he was dead.
Yeah,
which is I wasn't used to it at first, but I've come to. It's definitely helpful for sure to have Savage calling for me while he's dead, because he might pick up on stuff that like I don't realize.
For sure. So do you do that? Do you do it for him too?
Yeah.
For
like
him as well?
yeah, I have. Like just small stuff like telling your duo like when they're gonna be in zone. Like let's say it's moving zone.
Yep.
They might not be looking at the mini map. So you can just say like you need to go 2 more in and then you're in zone.
Yeah.
Just small stuff like that, it can be really helpful.
Cool. All right. End game is, I think, everybody's biggest interest always, and like I think it's obviously the most fun part of Fortnite for me, at least.
Yeah.
I think that it takes an insane amount of multitasking ability to be able to know exactly all the different things that you need to do, be able to check everything that you need to check. Obviously, having a teammate helps, just like you just said, like calling, getting in the zone. But is that so? Are you thinking about all these different things, or is it just like you're just kind of running with it? Your hands are just going.
Yeah, for like. To be honest, most of the time, endgame for me, like especially in solos, it's just instinct from playing a lot of endgames, like knowing like how people act and stuff.
Yeah.
Like knowing when people are gonna push you and stuff. Like you can get a sense of what people are gonna do just by playing tons of endgames and just knowing what people do.
Sure, go for it.
At this point in the game, being a solo with just one launch pad, you actually haven't used your mobility yet, but you've gotten pretty lucky with the zone as of right now. Like, are you thinking, oh, I just need to get placement points? Are you thinking, oh, I need to start, oh, I remember this game now. Are you thinking I need to start fragging out, or what's the idea here? Obviously,
I think I go for little. Yeah, I go for little picks like right here. I throw dynamite, see if I can just get a few picks. Then I hit this guy white. I focus him because Storm's gonna push him. I kill him. I get that's like 3 kills. Yeah. So just going for like, I always make sure I'm safe before I start going for kills. Like I always box up and make sure I'm covered from like all angles before I start shooting or spraying at somebody. But I'll focus people in like bad positions. Like if they're being pushed by Storm, I'll hold them. And like if you have utility, it can be really useful end game, just like the dynamites.
Yeah, that's something I'm learning a lot recently. Is don't like in endgame, don't bother going for fights unless you know you're safe.
Yeah.
So, how do you? When do you feel that way? Like obviously, right now you're looking for a shot.
I mean, so right now I'm ahead of zone, so Storm's pushing towards me.
Yeah.
I'm full shield. I'm sitting in a box actually right here. I was holding the floor somehow. Yeah, somehow managed to kill him, but.
Latest guy.
Yeah. So I normally hold people like when I'm ahead of zone, sitting in a box. That's when I know I'm safe because unless somebody heavy snipes into my box, nobody can really get in unless they pickaxe one of my walls or something.
No.
So I just hold people who are in worse spots than me.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. All right. That was a sick clutch, by the way. Top 5 kills, easy peasy. Awesome. Wait, what game did we just watch? Did we just watch number 4? Please, no. No, this is the wrong game. Okay, perfect. All right, cool. So we'll watch one more, then we'll take a small break, and then we'll do 2 more. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Ooh. All right, and we'll try to get more into specifics of the actual game. Because I've been just kind of randomly asking questions just based on like the stage of the game. But very, very insightful so far. Very insightful. I love it. Okay, one thing, the reason I haven't fast forwarded through the drop is, do you guys have like set rules on like who drop? Like, somebody does a high drop, somebody does a low drop, and somebody's focusing on making sure whether you're getting contested, and somebody's focusing on different things, like whether some other spots aren't contested? Is that something you guys do?
I think it would more be if it was. We don't focus, like we don't have set roles for that. No.
Yeah.
But Savage sometimes, because he has to go to a far, like he has to go blue house, and sometimes
he's always higher than you.
It's a far drop. Yeah, he's always higher than me, so he can watch for when for where people are, and he gives call outs on where people land. Like people, so some place that we do actually watch for is there's like a little racetrack.
Yep.
With ballers. Yeah. So he normally checks there and sees if anybody lands there.
Yeah, cool. Well, so why that specifically? So you can see if there's ballers there. Like you can go, oh, let's go get the ballers or something like that. Or,
I mean,
SMG poison trap.
If nobody lands there, we're more likely to rotate towards it. Just to check if there's any ballers there.
Got a heavy sniper.
Yeah, I was just watching Mitra and Mongrel. They legit got tilted free because they realized that nobody dropped there, and they're like, "Yeah, let's go there." So I was like, "That's something that people should probably talk about beforehand." So that's cool. Okay, I think you get contested here. Let me speed up real quick. I want to see that clock tower thing in action. Yes.
This was a bit different because he was sitting above Savage, so I just tried to
just backed up a little bit.
Yeah, I can't actually remember how this. I think Savage heard them on top of the house or something.
Yeah, he hears them right now.
Alright, we can. Oh, I see another big.
Yeah, so this is actually awkward, right? Like
I can't really get to clock tower at this point.
So I feel like clock tower should always be pushed before by those guys, like, because it's closer to them than you, right? Because you drop in the south side, and the north side has that natural elevation over the south side. So I don't. It kind of feels like you guys put yourself in a disadvantage from coming down here. But
yeah, I mean it was unfortunate that because I don't think Savage realized that they were on top of the house. Normally, we'd always try to take high ground on them. That's why we have one person going top of clock tower, just so we can always have height.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
They've got a bow. They've got a bow. The Milan skin, the one with blonde hair, the short blonde hair.
Yeah.
So you're calling that he has one of them has a bow? Like you're oh, so it sounds like you call the skin, and you obviously can't hear the sound, unfortunately. And you said the guy with the blonde hair is the guy with the blonde hair. It sounds like you're calling the bow, but maybe I'm wrong. Is that true? And if so, why are you interested in which guy has the bow?
I mean, it's just so Savage knows which person to like look out for, because bows can be like they do like 130 damage. Like I always try and call what the skin is.
Yep.
Just so they know, so like Savage knows which person actually like has the bow or like the RPG or something.
Yep.
So we can watch out for the skin.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, makes sense. All right. Taking it really slow. Savage has low ground.
I'm going back in blue.
So I don't know. How do you approach a situation like this? This must happen not like pretty frequently where somebody gets this position on you, right?
Oh yeah, you can see us backing off.
I'm gonna go up here. See if
I think Savage might go up a bit, just to watch and see if they push at all.
Yeah.
And then he also has like he's also quite high as well. So
I got a treasure map.
we normally don't like to take fights to low ground. It's obviously a big disadvantage to take fights from low ground.
Yep.
So we try to get ourselves in a position. We always try to get ourselves in a position where we're not going to be that big at a disadvantage. Yeah.
So, and then you also have to put yourself in a position where if they decide to give up their position, you can capitalize on that, right? So that's why like he has to go up on the height. It looks like you decided pretty quickly that they're not going to push you. Because Mr. Savage,
I think
went
Savage
up and then he came down.
Yeah, he must have. I think he checked just to see if they were going to push. Just if he was going to push there, they would have pushed like instantly.
Yeah.
Just to chase us. But if they weren't pushing now, then it's unlikely that they're gonna.
We should rotate.
Yeah, they might not even have been like peeking, for example, too.
Yeah, and then also zone. It would have been very dumb for them to take this because they would have to go zone, and if they don't kill us quickly,
yeah, you guys have faith in you, but you guys have faith that the people aren't stupid. I don't know, man. I'm always like staying up on top of the building, making sure that they're not gonna push, even though it's pretty clear. And obviously that wastes time, right? When you end up, you're peeking, you're getting the awareness that they probably aren't pushing, and then you stay there. You're wasting all this time that you could be.
Yeah, you could be looting, you could be do anything. Yeah.
Bro,
cool.
Imagine 2 scars and an RPG.
2 scars.
We're gonna need the gold pumps. Gold got.
All right, cool. So we talked about this already. No, actually, last game you didn't get the quad. I think you.
No, I think there was a quad.
But
or
for whatever
I
reason,
can't
you
remember.
left it.
Yeah.
With the quad, it's the same type of idea, right? You're just looking for all the different
Okay, this guy's right in front of us.
Yeah, it's kind of sketchy because Savage needs to get. I think it was a treasure map. He was. I think it might be.
Okay. Yeah. He did pick up one early on.
Yeah.
Careful the ball. There's a ball behind us that hopped
I get really nervous in a position like this when you end up landing. You're still out of zone. You're giving up your quad, and there's people rotating in front of you. Like this position sucks.
Yeah.
Like you took a heavy snipe shot at them already. Like, yes, that's like, hey, I have a heavy sniper. You shouldn't peek me. You should probably move on. But at the same time, it's like, oh, we're here. Hey, if you want to be stupid, now's the time. You know, like, how do you? That seems like a very risky shot. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed that they would hear the quad.
Yeah.
Because obviously the quad is flying right next to them, and I wouldn't want to miss an opportunity. Like, let's say they heard the quads, they saw us, and I didn't take any shots.
Yeah.
It's just an opportunity that could pay off if I would have knocked one.
True.
We could have both pushed and like got the kill, and the other guy would have just ran probably because of the zone.
Yep. True.
Free kill.
Heavy snipe shots always take is basically what I'm hearing. Okay. So you still have the quad, so you should be fine, right? You should just, yeah.
I hate being now.
Position. How do you choose where you want to land? obviously we already talked about how MrSavage makes those calls, but what is your idea of like, oh, what's the good spot to land?
I mean, what I picked up from Savage is going in like main POIs, like in the middle of the game. Like right now we're in retail. It's really good because when you can like replace a house, not lose any mass, and also it can be really easy to rotate through it. Because there's lots of cover, lots of houses and stuff. So being in these like main POIs during like the middle of the game, can be really useful.
And like even spots like so. Do you guys ever think of center zone as a concept? Like, oh, I'm gonna go center zone, or is it always just like? Because both games so far you haven't gone center zone.
I don't think there's any fucking thing.
The zone, I'm not sure.
Campfires.
The way I see it is, I normally only go. Well, I normally only focus on going center zone. In, which zone is it? It's the
fourth zone, probably.
It's the zone before 55th. Or the
fourth zone.
Yeah, the fourth zone. So you're guaranteed to get the next zone. That's the only time where I would think about focusing on middle zone. You never is. It's not guaranteed that going middle will get you in the zone. Like it could be, you could like be pretty far off.
But you don't think in probabilities like you have a better chance of getting towards the next zone or close to the next zone or anything like that? Because it's still a higher chance of you getting the next or getting closer to the next zone if you go center in any of the zones.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I think prioritizing like stuff like looting or something like over getting center zone. I think at least in my opinion, I think looting can pay off more than going center zone. 100%. So you can like there's possibility you can get like movement or something. So yeah.
Is there like if you leave a spot or leave your secondary loot spot with X loadout, are you done looting and you're gonna be like, okay, we're just gonna play position, we're gonna play as small as possible, we're not gonna show ourselves or anything like that? Is that ever a thing, or do you just continue looting?
I mean, I think maybe if we have like lots of movement, we might try to focus on position more.
Cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because we don't need much else.
I thought you heavy sniped him. I was like, really?
They went east.
Oh, you do. Nice.
Knocked him. Let's go. Yeah. Last guy's in the watchtower. You can stink him. You can stink the guy in the watchtower.
Yeah. These guys are not good. He just went for his fucking.
Yeah.
Like you said, take those shots.
Is he in your box? I'm on height. Down here.
Yeah, I'm getting.
Hit him 100. Hit him 110. He rifted. Did you shoot him out of the sky?
All right. I remember this fight.
I can drop down. He's white.
Yeah,
he's white.
right here. I didn't think it was going to be worth it to follow because I thought he would just go somewhere like really far in the open field. But he went in retail, and there's not really much places you can like. There's so much cover. It's going to be really hard for somebody to third party with just AR shots. So I just followed him, and it was really free kill.
Go back to the other guys to loot.
Free kill. Legit. Nice. And then you get the drop as well. So like
yeah. Take a bit. But still go back there, I think.
Okay, so that's cool though. That's interesting, right? You're thinking about where they're actually going. Is this going to be valuable to me, or is it going to be a waste of time and probably put me in a bad position, right? Because if you do follow somebody, even if he's like 40 HP or something like that, and you follow somebody who goes open field, that tends to screw you, right? It could.
Yeah, you can get third party really hard.
Yeah.
Just land like if you see them landing in somewhere like just then he was really low, landing in somewhere where it's going to be really hard to get third partied. It's really easy to get the kill. So yeah.
Cool. You take so many heavy snipe shots. It's insane.
Okay.
Where?
He's going for the clip.
Inside library.
Going for the clip. All right. So what are you're pushing back towards where you were before?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's because there's loot there or something.
Okay, yeah, well, he just spotted.
And he also got a launch pad as well.
But he didn't actually. Oh, there's loot from that first kill. Okay,
from there. Yeah.
Damn, but this is pushing you guys way out. This is. Ooh, okay. Yeah, jeez. So even, I mean, it was a free kill. He was on the open. He clearly didn't spend any materials, so you have tons of mats. I don't know if you're gonna be able to tunnel all the way to zone though with it.
I guess we just. I mean, we can rotate.
Yeah, here's the question now.
I'm ready.
You're having the question now. You're asking, how do I actually get over to where we need to go now?
Yeah.
Okay. Question. Like, this is clearly a pretty decent sized end game. 60 people up right now. Does that ever come into your minds when you guys are playing customs or the tournament specifically? Like, oh, there's only 40 people at this stage. Like, it's a hot drop game or for some people, and so for whatever reason there's less people. Do you ever like, oh, we can push more this now? Like, we can be more risky because there's less people on the map. Or do you?
I don't think. I think we always play the same. I think actually. When people, let's say there's not a lot of people alive, I think it's actually quite easy to get placement points.
Okay,
Or no, just get placement points because people are gonna die. Like there's not gonna be many people end game. There's probably gonna be like 25 moving, and if you can just play like decent, if you have a bit of movement, then you can get really easy placement points.
Trying to watch.
Word.
Idiot.
Angles. Oh, you're one of the like most careful players when you're like going through making edit, like especially in the end game. I'll ask this question again when we get end game, but basically every time I see you're always holding edits. You're always like you're looking as hard as possible. But I'll bring that up when we get to end game again.
Okay.
I need a mini from you. Well, have you got any?
Do you make sure you carry white heels and blue heels? Like at least one of you guys.
Not actually as much as you think. Like I think we always prioritize shield because it's a lot easier to find heals just around the map.
Yeah.
Like we could go like let's say retail like if we had no health and it's pretty guaranteed.
Certainly gonna find a band-aid or something like that.
Yeah, but it's less likely to find shield because more people take those.
But so I've been starting to carry more white heels just because of the amount of stinks that people carry now these days. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So like if I don't carry white heels, I feel like I always get stunk down to 5 HP or something like that, and it ends up being that I just get stunk to death. That never. Again.
I mean, I'd always drop my SMG for like any like if I've got AR pump SMG, then I've got like 6 minis, 3 bigs. If I find like a medkit, I'll always drop my SMG for it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they're rotating now.
So yeah, even though I really like SMG, I think
Let's go behind them.
like
do you do that for utility too, like dynamiter and clingers and stuff?
Yeah, utility as well. Yeah. I think utility is very good. Yeah.
Two in there.
Okay. I'm gonna force them out.
Cool. So utility is kind of exchangeable with your white heels then, basically.
Yeah.
Cool.
We might have to launch pad if they don't.
So okay, when you're in a position like this on the edge of zone, you're not in zone. Are you always? So obviously, we already talked about how MrSavage is making the calls about how like he's looking, for cover, for a little high ground to make the rotates. But is there times when you end up pushing somebody for them to use their mobility, and then you can leech off of it?
Maybe.
I think
they're gonna launch pad.
Not
they're gonna break the
like if we
Oh, I got
let me think.
Pretty pop a slurp before.
Let's say we know like somebody might be playing a bit weird, like they might have had a really free rotate, but they didn't take it. That's a chance that they might have a launch pad or something that they're gonna use or something.
Yeah.
So if we know it's something that's like really obvious that they have a launch pad or something like that, then we could just wait. And
do you wait
wait
or
them
do
to use
you
it.
try to force them to use it?
I went 3 up.
Normally wait. If it's a launch pad, we just wait like near the base and just wait for them to launch pad.
I don't know.
Yeah, because my thing is if you wait and you're wrong, then you're screwed. But if but again, you talked about the free rotate. Like if somebody has a free rotate, so that makes sense to me. Okay, building for height at different stages of the game.
Hit 22 white.
So for my question straight up, why did we build up 3 squares here?
I think it's just really easy to go for picks like at this stage of the game, especially after this zone, because I mean we're already on natural high ground, we're on a hill.
Yep.
If we just go up a bit, then we're gonna have high ground on most of the map.
Okay.
Wait, 1 second.
Over here.
Give me a minute.
Okay, no worries. No worries. Yeah, he's basically talking about like the fact that because he's so high, he can actually get angles on most of the map. Like he can even look down in this little ridge right here in between these two different little high ground spots. Because these guys are low. If he just stayed down one, he wouldn't be able to actually see over his hill. So
this like really
I don't think we should.
but like this was a pretty big investment, right? And
yeah,
they
we can help you.
aren't necessarily going to get zone, and they even went to a spot where they wouldn't actually get zone. So that was why I asked that question. But let me know, guys, if you have any questions for Benjy or myself or whatever. I'm peeking at chat every little while. I see Zexro's fucking chat up.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry.
All right, cool. So we were talking about how the top of like building 3 up gives you the vision on the entire map, right? So
I mean, yeah, we're already on natural high ground, so you don't have to go up too high just to get high on the rest of the map. So
yep.
It's really easy to go for picks when you're on height, because not many people. It's really hard to focus you.
Yeah.
With stuff like clingers and stuff. When you're on high ground, it's a lot easier if you're low ground to get like stinked or clingered or something. So
yeah, like in this position, this guy threw 1 stink at you, and he's like, okay, that's it. Not 2, maybe. But if you're down on low ground, it's much more likely that you end up getting 4 stinks thrown at you or 5 stinks thrown at you or whatever, right?
Yeah.
He's white.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Okay, in this case, you're thinking I want to just kill these guys and not necessarily get their loot.
Let's try hold rotate.
I think Savage goes over here because there wasn't really many people around there to. So I stayed up here, and just make sure like if somebody did start shooting at him, I could hold for him and like shoot back at them.
Very smart.
There's one guy that needs to rotate.
Yeah, he could get something really good out of this too.
He's rotating without any movement.
That's such a sick call right there. How you literally you're looking for anybody who could be a threat to Savage, right? I mean, obviously you're also looking to kill him, but I think this is the only guy that has eyes or even is possibly thinking about. Well, he's not thinking about shooting Savage, but he is the only guy.
He's white. Hit 28 white.
At this
28
point.
white. Nice. Alright, let's go.
Nice.
I got cap mats.
Alright, yeah.
You can go on top of these guys, maybe.
Yeah.
Northeast.
Let's
Let's go on top of them.
Oh, careful.
Jesus, that's a lot of people on that hill.
I didn't get any more mobility.
You guys are like by yourselves over here with the guys underneath you, and then everybody else is on that hill. It feels like.
How many kills you have?
I got 3.
Nice.
Are those our builds? They're not. How many mats you got?
I'm 4 to 3.5.
4 to
3.5.
3.5. Take this.
This is such a good position just because of like how little amount of people can shoot you, right? Like nobody can get your back.
You see everybody
nobody can
opening
get your side.
windows.
Yeah.
You see everybody opening windows. I'll try to heavy snipe somebody, but.
Following you.
Yeah. Launchpad positioning there. Would you do you just do what you need to do, like, because I feel like maybe placing it behind so you had no chance of getting a shot there.
Yeah, it might be better. I did cover it a bit with a wall. Yeah. That's what actually in our first game, our launchpad got destroyed in the first game while Savage took it and I didn't. So I had to rotate on mine. But yeah, I think if you're not gonna put it behind you, yes, that's out.
That was scary.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna put it behind you, sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah. You can like just use walls or something just to cover it, and it's like not likely for it to get destroyed.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get you. I'm with you.
Cool. Okay, and here's the question: how important is it for you guys to make sure you're next to each other? Like, it's in this stage of the game, it's not all the way towards end game, and it's not as small, but. I watched like Crimson Spades, for example, today. They literally were not like as tight knit together. Is this something that you have to do? You have to stay next to each other?
I think it's at least for me and Sarah, I think it's really important that we like stay together because we've got like yeah, I think we're really good together when we're like next to each other in end game. We can still call to each other and stuff, and it's really easy to just like we can focus. If we see somebody on their own, we can both focus them, and it's more like a lot more likely we'll get the kill and if just one of us is focusing them.
We're
So
still
yeah, I
together,
think it's
we're still
important.
Yeah. 4 seconds on the
You
choke.
talked about
Hey, I'll stand for
earlier
you, I'll stand for you.
getting towards those.
Okay, we're gonna go left.
Oh,
we're
that
gonna
was
go left.
sick.
Alright, I put the choke.
Just that little build there for your teammate. That was sick. Where he was healing and then he was like, "Oh, I'm healing," and then you built out for him. That sounded like it was on purpose. I mean, based on your
Yeah,
comms.
I mean, I wanted to cover him so he couldn't get shot at. So yeah.
And then pathing. Do you guys have a set pather, or is it just like based on whatever you feel?
No, I mean you can see me parking right here, but
follow me,
Savage
follow me.
also does it a lot. Like if Savage is
guys in front of me.
healing,
I'm going up on there,
then
going up on there.
like obviously like whoever's in the better position,
Careful on height.
like
Do it,
let's say
do
one
it
of us
up.
needs to heal, the other person will path out for the other
Okay.
person.
Yep.
So the other person has time to heal and can get to the zone easily.
We got stone, just chill.
Yeah. Try and get some kills on low ground, I think.
I was close to getting that snipe shot. I was hoping for it. I was like, please.
He's spraying. He's gonna go down, he went down.
More people on our
Those situations right there, like where there's one guy, he's pushing towards zone, and you're both spraying at the same wall. Do you guys ever commit to that? Like, where do you think you'll actually get the like? Is that just constantly keep that pressure up because he has to move based on zone or whatever?
I mean he got zone here, so it was really hard to like stay focusing him.
Yeah.
And he also dropped down, so I don't think committing to that guy there was like yeah.
But if he didn't get zone, he'd be pushed against the wall, and then spraying the same wall is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. And then something that you guys are insane at is finding different angles, right? So you'll end up more MrSavage's on the side of a box, and you're on the front of a box, and you're shooting both sides. How do you constantly find those shots, guys? Like, is this just intuitive positioning, or like you guys are thinking about it? You guys are commenting about it? I don't understand how you guys always are getting these pinches.
I think keeping good comms and knowing when there's somebody on your teammate can be really important, because obviously like you can get awareness of who's like on your layer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when your teammate's focusing somebody else, like Savage got a knock here, and we called to both push them because we know it's solo.
Oh, you're sick. You just said, sorry, I'm backing up.
Yeah.
Because
Nice. Just push over to it.
Yeah, making the call.
Oh, I'm holding, break it.
And then you said I'm holding, break it, so that you could be turbo building. That's nice.
Oh, yeah. We always do that because I have UK ping and he doesn't, so it's always easier for me to get the wall than he is. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody listening is gonna have whoever's in Pennsylvania, because most of it's NA. Whoever's in Pennsylvania is gonna be the guy who holds the wall. Nice. And then if you have a duo who's in UK, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So it's all based on hometown.
Nice. Get a mask.
That's sick.
Okay.
But
We do it a lot actually. It's
even,
really useful.
Even without ping, like that's just such a smart tactic, right? Because you're doing turbo build versus turbo build now, and it's more just like
still like easier, like to get the wall.
Yeah.
If one of you's holding, one of you's breaking.
So you do that a lot, you say?
Yeah. It's really useful, especially because like with my UK ping, I can just hold it, and like the majority of the time, I'll get the wall, even when they're holding it. Because we're both just turbo building while the other person's breaking, so yeah.
Matt, 1 maps.
That's sick.
Go low. Go low ground. Go low ground. I've got low ground.
You're nuts. So why the decision to go low ground here? Obviously we're talking a lot, so we can't see full context, but
yeah,
that was a call that you made, and you instantly made it, and then Savage follows up really fast afterwards. But why do you want to go low ground here? Is it the materials? Is it how many people are in your layer?
I mean, I'm running out of mats at this point, so I think going low ground and just going for a kill where we can get mats possibly, and also I didn't really see many people on low ground, like complete low ground, so I think it would be pretty easy to just take low ground and go full picks.
And somebody just said in chat also the minigun high ground. Is that a threat to you guys? Are you guys thinking about that?
Yeah. If a thing that's really bad is like being the layer below high ground, because that means high ground is always just gonna focus you the whole time, and yeah, you like just being mid ground instead of that layer it can be a lot better.
And then, so if that's the case, then is there a situation where you're thinking when you are mid ground below, even you're not the layer right below high ground, but do you ever think about, oh, I have to make sure that there's somebody building above me? Do you think about that? Or because in that situation, you end up in the same spot, right? Where the guy high ground is going to focus you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I always make sure that nobody, like, I'm not the second person to, like, high ground. Like, if, like, yeah, but you can normally hear them or something, like, but I'd always just randomly check if there's somebody above me.
So basically, you're saying you team with high grounds to get the guy above you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna stink this guy. He's low.
Look, one.
Dead.
All right, that was.
Wait, I got a rift.
Okay, I'm with you. You can rift.
I always think that it's really cool when players make storm like plays like that. Like that one was a little weird because he clearly knew. Well, he didn't know that you were pushing, especially with the zone like that. But like. That's ballsy, right?
Okay, I'm with you. You can rift. Oh, maybe
not. I know he's in a really bad spot because he's breaking the floor above him.
Yeah, I'm gonna rift.
And he's stuck against the wall, so he can't really do much apart from break up. So it'll be really hard for him to turn back around and pump me.
Yeah. So
I got a lot of mats.
You're always this is what I was wanted to talk about was basically how you always basically know what the person that you're about to make the edit on is gonna do, like almost or what they're looking at, or if they have the opportunity to react to you and stuff like that. So that guy had his pickaxe out, and you consciously made the decision. Oh, he has his pickaxe out. I can go kill him. Nice.
The guys on high ground are fucking dropping down.
Okay, I'm gonna
this high ground.
I watched this game earlier from. Oh,
I'm on high ground. But I've got 0 mats. I need your help.
Yeah, right here I was out of mat, so I needed Savage to try to get up.
So that was a sick play, right? Because I was under the impression that MrSavage would probably be there faster. So I think that was a timing issue. Like, let's take high ground, and then you went fast, and he started turtling instead.
I mean, yeah. The reason Savage called it is because they were only 1 layer above us. So that meant that they must be like low on mats. If they're only 1 layer above us, because they'd probably be higher and just making it more secure.
Yeah.
But like you can tell right now they're out of mats because they would have built and stuff, and then they drop down and they're out of mats and stuff. So yeah.
Nice. Good read. That's a nuts read. And then do you guys have like specific ways that you take high ground from this situation? Like, like I see Saf and Zayd always. They will literally always go one side. One person stares out to one side, the other guy stares out to the other side, and it works out because you get a pinch from it. Do you guys have those thoughts as well, or is it just kind of organic?
Not particularly. We normally just do it like we normally like both just tell each other to like go for height. Yeah. Both do it at the same time. It normally ends up in getting a pinch somewhere. So yeah.
it just normally happens that we get a pinch because we're that good. Nice.
Hit 40 on height. Oh,
I thought this guy 100.
That was unfortunate. That timing worked that way, where he was pushing height right when you guys stopped fighting. Ooh, little toe shot. Nice.
I had 0 mats right now.
Yeah.
I made a mistake.
Need to try and kill this guy.
Before. Yeah, okay. That kill's nice.
So at this point, I thought he was in the storm, like below. But then Savage called that he went up. Because I was going to out heal him because I just got the kill. So I was going to outwin the healer probably.
Fuck! Oh my god!
He went up and I didn't realize.
Dude, went up. Oh fuck.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. He was just fighting down there. We just watched this replay.
Yeah, I thought he was like all the way below. But he somehow managed to get up.
I wanted to point out or ask about this movement right here. Not like obviously you get these, and then the way that you jump looks really purposeful. Like you jump all the way towards the corner. Is that so that it's less obvious exactly where you are, or because then you try to make the jump to the wall, or it looks like you try to make it. That way you could stay high longer. But is that purposeful the way that you jump there, or?
I want to say so, but I don't know. It might be because I wanted to try to get like an angle on low ground quicker or something, but not. And I don't think that I did it purposely.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the other one was like trying to jump on this. That would have been sick. Imagine.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay. Cool. This is like if we just watch this. Yeah, there's no way. Like, there's no sound or anything like that this guy's going up until then.
He went up. He went up.
Oh fuck! Really?
Cool. All right. Let's take a quick break and come back in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure. That's
cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. 5-minute break real quick, and we'll go through 2 more games with Benjy. And continue, guys, if you have any questions, keep posting them. I'm peeking at chat every once in a while. Secret Mongrel was in the game. Oh, my God. I do have Benjy joining us today still, and we're going to hop into the last 2 games. So let's do it.
Also, both of us get pumped at the same time. We still got
I don't even remember like what we were talking about now. I love breaks. Okay, this is a good time to talk about it. What is your opinion, and how do you deal with the 10 game limit and the 3-hour limit?
I deal with it in solos a lot different than duos most of the time. I mean, in duos, we only played 7 games. We didn't play any games to W key, and that's because we were seeing that we were being so consistent in just playing for endgame that we didn't want to mess up like our flow sort of thing of just playing for endgame and being consistent like top 10.
I think they might.
Right, that's because you're thinking about how you guys are feeling, or is that just because are you thinking about the tiebreaker, or what exactly are you not trying to mess up? Just that consistency.
I did mention to Savage about like if we play less games, like the tiebreaker would like
favors you 100%.
It'll be in our favor. Yeah. So, but in solos, I always like to play the full 10 games out because obviously you can maximize your points. But I think in duos. At least for me and Savage, I really like because we were in like a flow, obviously, of just constantly getting top. Like, I think it was top 9. We didn't get less than top 9, so we just wanted to keep getting top 9 and not play any like W key games or anything, just to like mess ourselves up or something.
Sorry, my bad. I got distracted because the game was wrong. Did we watch this game?
Yeah. No, we haven't. No.
I mean, I'm one hit.
All right. That makes sense to me.
I see way more people going towards us.
I worded it pretty badly, but I just wanted to carry on playing how we want, like how we kept doing it. I didn't want to change anything because it was going so well. That's pretty much it.
There's one team.
Makes sense. Yeah, that perfectly makes sense.
I'm gonna wait and see if those guys are going for.
Especially like when you play it this consistently. I mean, if you get the most points, that's really all that matters. You just gotta get the most points, right? You can get the most points in a certain game. So, but all right. So in solos, when you are trying to maximize how many games you play, are you thinking of like do you just drop tilted? Are you dropping different spots? Are you just pushing? Are you dropping Hamlet and then pushing like crazy?
No. So if I want a W key game, then I'll just land tilted and play it out from there. Try to get as many kills as possible.
And do you ever play out a game that you drop tilted because you end up freaking winning tilted?
Not really. I actually, unless I have like really good loot, like 2 rifts or something, then I'll just suicide.
Yeah, okay.
I'm stinking on you. Am I stinking?
Come on, bro. Oh, I wanted to back. I remember this game. This is like the only one that I watched the early game from. Number 1, that stink through the wall was sick. To already know exactly where the guy was, but from the beginning.
I've got an AK.
From the beginning, Mr. Savage was already like saying, "Hey, there's people on me. People are gonna probably push me."
I'm trying to run towards you.
Yeah, just try dip.
Is this a situation that you like? Because we talked about dropping earlier, right? And how Mr. Savage like, or how you guys drop blue and this spot, and how Mr. Savage oftentimes is higher. Is this something that like these guys just forced you into, or like would you try to avoid this situation? Like if you're Mr. Savage, getting away from these guys like during the landing, because I feel like this is a very precarious position because you don't have a pump. He has a pump, luckily, but you could be fucked here if he goes down.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Savage meant to run into them or something. I think they like broke into his house or something. I think it was a really hard spot to get out of. We normally don't take these fights unless we have to, which at this point I think we had to, because my loot was really bad, so there wouldn't be much point in fighting it. But Savage got a nice knock, and then I came in from behind.
Shit,
That was
let's
sick.
go.
It worked out perfectly.
Got a rift as well.
I wonder why they pushed it. 'Cause he had a pump and a scoped AR. Nice.
Let's go.
Very smart. No worries. Okay.
Got a legendary up.
Cool. Oh, freaking.
I think you don't get contested anymore.
What's this? Got a rift.
Slap. Alright. Alright, take the six.
One thing though during that fight that I noticed is like,
Minis.
you're like, as soon as you hit a pump shot, you're like, nice, let's go. Is that on purpose or is that just like an
I think
emotional
like having
reaction?
like just be like yeah, just being like friends with each other like as a duo it can be really helpful. Like
Yep,
just
I'm with you.
knowing just like keeping each other's mood up can be really good.
Where to go, Zan?
Just like even that just little bit of positive reinforcement helps so much in like not only not tilting, which is very important, but like actually hitting your shots, right? If you're happy, if you're feeling good, you're gonna that's awesome. I like that. I love teams that do that. That's awesome. And on that topic, you guys are fairly good at not tilting. I would say this like with the caveat that when you're playing together. But when you're solo, I feel like whenever I watch you guys, you tend to have more your attitude degrades much faster when something goes wrong.
Oh no, poverty.
I think that's the same for most people who are in solos. Like but in
people like,
duos, is that something that you're specifically thinking about? Like, oh, we just don't tilt and we do better?
Yeah, I mean, Savage was actually talking to me about it before, or I think it was like before or after. Just like
before or after the
not
qualifier?
tilting. No, after the finals. I think it's.
Get some storm surge.
Give me a minute. Can you give me a sec? I need to go to close my mum. Yeah, you can carry on. You can carry on if you want. I'll be like 2 minutes.
Alright,
cool.
Metal.
Cool.
I need like 200.
If Vinny does anything wrong, I usually just WQ to get my confidence back.
By the way.
Yeah.
Nice. I think that's a really interesting topic, though. Like, there's some teams that are very obviously more prone to that, and when you're actually in a tournament setting, like you almost never have that situation because you guys are very focused. But I've seen some people at LAN, man, like at TwitchCon. Oh my goodness.
Let's go towards.
Oh my goodness. In actual like matches, it's so bad. Those are more tilt prone because it's you and only you. So not only do you have to think about what you did wrong, but you're the one that did it wrong. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I agree with you.
I kind of just want to go.
I just want to get his take on it.
Side.
Guys, if you have any other questions, can you ask if they are purposely not going for high since it's risky? They legit usually has high in all pro customs. Yeah, I can ask about that. Yeah, because they haven't really taken the normal timings that most people do. Funny again, Savage calls a house.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
Interesting. No worries. I was just talking just now about how Savage again calls a house that this house is better than the from what I see, right? It's better than the one in Pleasant because it has actual brick. Like the basement house had like no brick at all, so it was like awkward to actually replenish. But this house is much better, and the positioning is better too. I like it.
Savage is good with these type of calls.
You have it big?
Very clearly. He's the first guy that I saw legit always go for house replacement. Like other people will, you know, kind of, they'll either maybe sit on like a mobility item or something like that, or they'll get a mountain. Savage is the first person I saw always go for a house. So it clearly works, and most people are kind of starting to do that now. So makes sense. Makes sense. I wish I could look at the map. I always do that when I'm in VODs. I like press M, like whoops.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's mute or something like that. Okay, let's speed up a little bit. I don't think we need to watch the house farming again. If I can, here we go.
No tags. Yeah. They're gonna follow.
Is there a stage that you decide to stop farming the house and to go up here? Like, is there anything that?
I think my.
First guy who's in storm.
I think we just realized that we could hold people, and that's when we would move.
Okay, so it's based on the zone. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh.
RPG. Might want to chill. We can't really hold them anymore.
You got knocked. Let's go.
Oh,
let's go,
okay.
let's go.
That little edit that Savage just did was nuts. To just push. He
Yeah,
rotates his stairs backwards over the cone. That's nice.
Get a finish. Nice.
You had an RPG as well.
I can
Pick that
take.
up. Here, I split your rockets.
Thank you. I've got 120 brick. 5, 1.2, 5.
RPG is something you always pick up?
Yeah, for sure. It's really,
Yep.
it's really good, especially in duos. Like we get double RPG at like quite a lot because like we'll kill people. We'll get RPGs. Having double RPG on height it can be devastating.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So we don't waste any
If you have single, do you always give it to one person? Is there somebody that's like better RPG?
I think Savage normally takes explodes. He's really good with grenade launcher, and he's he likes having rocket launcher as well.
Yeah,
nice.
Oh wait,
I think we had double RPG at this point.
Yeah, I think you do. I think you do. It's so good. It's ridiculous.
I think it'll be pretty easy to just.
The first people who like opened my eyes to it. I mean, it was actually Savage and Mongrel, I think. But Boyer and Cripper, like they use that so freaking like well. It's insane. It's not hard, but it's like they do it well. Better than anyone I've seen so far, actually.
Sorry.
Okay.
Just break the thing. Shoot it.
Do you guys hunt supply drops?
If we need to, like if we're low on movement, then we might prioritize getting it.
There you go.
Like but we don't unless it's like close or it's like easy to get or something. Then yeah, we'll probably go for it. But we would prioritize trying to get it a lot more.
Yeah.
If we have no movement and we need the loot.
But it's not. Oh, I'm. An RPG, or I'm gonna go look for an RPG or something. It's mostly movement, right? If you want movement, then you go for drop.
Right here.
Double RPG in the
Three.
middle.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Knocked.
Nice. Let's go.
Yeah, I pop a mini.
Oh, watch out, south. They're rolling.
Yeah, I'm good. He got finished.
Yeah, he's down there. We won't be able to do.
Yeah, let's leave it. Good shit.
Nice.
There's a bunch of people looking at him. So.
Oh, my chat's saying bless you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Again, yeah, this is the one I was watching. I was like, these guys are just so good at gatekeeping. Like, you always finding the options, and you're like almost never getting third party from it. Is there? Do you guys prioritize the sides of mountains ever? Like, obviously we talked about the buildings. But like, mountain goating is something that used to be super popular. It's starting to fall out of popularity now. But specifically, like in this mode right here, you get tons of great peaks because of it.
Yeah, I mean, getting like just having natural high ground can be really useful in gatekeeping people. Like just having a good angle on them, whether it's gonna be really unlikely for them to be able to shoot back at you, is really nice. I sort of do the same thing with in endgame when I'm rotating a moving zone. Something I like to do is hug the storm. So one part like on my right, I'd have the storm, and on the left, I just build. Like, I just build walls to my left.
Yep.
So I only need to cover one side because the storm's the other side, and it's unlikely somebody's gonna come from like behind the storm to come and shoot me.
Yep.
Oh, it
can be really useful.
Yeah, when I had Season Elevator on, that's where I learned like, oh, edge zone pathing is actually really good. But it's
we can help people.
Like there's I've noticed that at the same time when you're edge zone, we'll pause here for a second, you end up getting to spots where the zone is going to push you more, right? You start if you go edge zone, the zone is always going to push you out eventually, and you're always running from the zone. Whereas if you go center zone, you never get pushed by you have long periods of time where you're just sitting there. Yeah, I love that concept. And then there's also the fact that like when you are rotating in a circle, you go edge everybody's going center is getting shot by these guys, these guys, these guys, and the people behind them too.
Yeah.
So like, so is that you guys are always constantly thinking, oh, I want to go edge zone, or is there just situations where it's like, oh, it's just based on what's going on, really?
I mean, like, we try and at least not as much in duos. I mean, it helps a lot in duos, but I do a lot like tons in solos where you just sit on the edge, like while you're in zone, and you just hold everybody. Like, I would intentionally put myself on the edge of zone just so I can hold people rotating. If I know there's gonna be lost to rotating from a certain spot, I would sit on the edge of where they need to rotate to and just hold everybody.
Yeah, I just need a big
That's nice. Get those nice pump shotgun clips in a row.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know where I got it.
Okay, so one question I have is we haven't seen you fight for height except that one time yet. Usually the timing duos I'm not too sure of right now based on like the mobility in the game, but it slightly changes every once in a while. But usually it's once you get to the half or the first moving zone, once that starts to close, once that gets to that first moving zone, so this one right here, that's when people fight for height. Is that something that you guys are thinking about a lot, or do not care?
Normally when we go for height, it's only if we have like, let's say, a rift. And we'll use it, and let's say like the team on high ground are fighting another team, it'll be really easy to take high ground because they're not focused on anybody who's above them.
So it's more opportunistic.
Yes, it's more opportunity. Like when we can see, like, let's say we can see that we can land on something, like on somebody's build that's in zone, and just RPG down high ground. Like when we see it's like really easy to take high ground, then we'd go for it. But we don't overcommit to go for high ground because there's not much point to it.
I feel like, especially in these games, people cycle high ground over and over and over and over. So like, there's no point.
If you do that, then you just run out of mats, and you can't really do anything.
I've got a trap for him as well.
I love how freaking fast you placed that trap, dude. You're actually nuts. Like as soon as that guy landed in the box, you're like, oh, this is my trap on, and MrSavage is in the box. Meanwhile,
that pickaxe is on the Fortnite stream as well. It's quite funny.
Yeah, I remember that. It's so funny.
Yeah, guy right here.
Yeah, he's gone up.
I'm going on the left.
Yeah, careful.
There's a bunch of people trying to hold.
Yeah. I went above.
Oh, another minigun on high ground. It's like we're watching the same game.
Yeah.
This was scuffed because I couldn't go through, so I had to go this way and use more mats. And then I started getting held by like tons of people. I heard this and I heard an RPG. I thought it was at me, but it wasn't. Or it was like it missed me.
I just noticed you're not wearing the fish skin. What the hell, man?
Yeah, it's because like you get focused. Not even joking. Like if you see a fish like flying in the sky, then people are gonna focus it more than just a normal skin. So I switched skin for like important tournaments and stuff.
Nice. That's funny.
I've got like 900 mats.
Nice.
You guys, so somebody asked a
a
question about the skins. Or no, somebody was like hypothesizing that the skin was like, for whatever reason, this is a pay-to-win skin or something like that. I was like, no, probably not. I think they're just using the same skin.
Can you expand?
But that's a really good point. The fish skin gets focused.
Yeah. A reason that we both use the same skin as well is because you mentioned like how I call out skin names. If you call somebody like, let's say somebody hits like Savage for like 60, they call out Drift hit 60. They don't know which one it is, which can actually be really good.
There's still a guy. There's still a guy on the
So I
same
think
spot.
using the same skin can be good.
Focus the fish, Benjy. What are you doing? That's Benjyfishy. Good B.
Go below me.
Right here was my fault. I got pumped really hard. I was 17 HP, and then Savage got like pumped really hard straight after.
Yeah. Going for that. Like it looked like you were actually really careful here.
Go below me.
Yeah, I kind of messed up there because I heard somebody below me, but he had the right hand peek on me.
Yeah. You didn't actually know exactly where he was, right?
Yeah, I was just hoping that he wouldn't notice that I'm there, but he noticed and he pumped me super hard, which kind of messed up our game. This is the game where we got like the lowest or the worst placement.
We need to keep rotating.
This was your worst placement?
I'm following you.
Yeah, okay.
My God, bro.
I'm gonna drop on somebody.
So you can behind my wall
I'm dead
right
from
there.
behind. I'm dead from behind.
That's disgusting that this is your worst placement. And it's still a really good game, right? Because I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you have 6 kills. He has what? Probably like 5 or something.
That's decent. Yeah.
That's nuts. 9th place is your worst placement. All right, cool. Last game. This was a pop-off game. I remember. I think it was like 15 points or something. How many did you end with? 100.
110.
110. Yeah, it's nuts.
At this point, it was pretty like guaranteed that we qualified. So we were pretty chill. Like at the end, Savage was like just messing about, sort of like not messing about, but like he was like cool, like we've qualified like while he was playing and stuff. So.
Oh man, that's funny. How far ahead were you at this point then?
We were first at this point. We were first. I don't know by how many points. I think it was like 5 or 10. But it was, as long as we didn't spawn, we were chilling.
Yeah.
But we did get contested this game, but we managed to kill them.
Guy landed here, and then guy landed on the big brown building.
Yeah, I mean with top 6, if you're 5 to 6 points ahead like that, that's pretty comfortable. Are you guys very aware of the scoreboard?
I mean, I check it after each game, and sometimes like with DM like Mitra or Mongrel, like while we're queuing something, see how many points they were on. But I don't know, if I see like, let's say I do badly first game, like we get really low points, then we see like some other team get like a 30 kill win or something. Like that happened in the semis.
Yeah.
We only got like 5 points in our first game, and then Stompy and Chinkin, they got like a 33 kill win.
Yep.
And it kind of demotivated me a little, but we managed to come back the second game. Yeah, I don't try and I close Discord during the game, just so I don't see like that somebody typed to me that we've been like overtaken or something, because that can like mess up my
I hate that.
attitude.
Good call.
Got a blue AR.
Good call.
The blue AR and SMG, dynamite, impulse.
I was wondering, even like recording, like I always recommend people, and you clearly have already done this, to not stream but record, just so that if they do something, they can grab the clout. But
I'm gonna be doing that more, because because I've got really bad internet. I've got like 15 downloads, 5 uploads.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to stream. Like, I lag while I stream a lot. Like I spike a lot. I get like packet loss. I get like.
Well, with that World Cup money, you can upgrade your damn internet. Jesus.
Yeah.
Do you have a dual PC setup?
No, I don't. I've got one pretty bad PC, like GTX 970 and 7700K. So not very good.
You're still getting consistent 160 at early game. Nice.
Yeah.
There's a pump here.
Nice. Guys going to the vending.
Right. We need 2 minis.
Yeah, I do.
Right. The pump and minis are here.
Okay.
Drop the medkit on me right now.
So neither of you actually think of them as a threat here, just because of the way that they were, they were playing, like they were boxing and they were pushing towards the vending. Like you're like, no, they're not a threat. They're not pushing us yet.
I mean, sometimes we go for the vending. If like, oh no, it depends on the duo. If a duo knows Happy Hamlet well, then sometimes they would go for it, but other times they won't. So sometimes it's like really free to just get all 3 of the vendings, because on the south side we have access to like 2 vendings. And then there's the one over there that you just saw. And sometimes people don't even know it as a vending there, so we can get it for free without anybody realizing.
Nice. Sometimes people don't even realize there's a vending there. I like that. My chat is
above me.
My chat is freaking out right now about how you only play on a 970.
I need minis.
That's actually pretty nuts.
Pushing on top of my building.
So, falling back here to MrSavage, like instantly, you don't even look for an opportunity to take shots just because you get beamed and he's in the right position, right?
Yeah.
How do you recover from a position like this where you have to back up like this? And if they actually fight you?
I always just go to Savage. Like right here, I saw he was on his own. I called it. So we edited on him.
Oh. I love that call. Sorry. You said he has attack, and then you instantly push for him. That was nuts. Because can you explain that a little bit?
I mean, I always hear for the sounds of the shotguns. Obviously, if he has attack, I'm gonna be way more confident in taking fights. Because attacks it for like nothing compared to pump.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I knew that one of them was on top of the roof, and one of them was down below. So if we just edged on this guy, got him in the box, then his teammate won't be able to do anything. Like he would just be dead. So that's why we edged on that guy.
Yeah, that was clean. No, that was perfect. Like box him up.
Guy. He's solo. He's got attack.
Go.
Hit him, AC.
Oh, okay, you were already making the plan to do it already. Not the fact that it was a attack trigger. Okay.
Hit him 50.
100. Nice. Let's go.
Like that was like I asked you already about how these pinches happen, but it's just like they just happen because of you, the way you guys play. Like that was perfect. Just pushing not only this guy in the box, but then coming around and pushing this guy. You kept using your right angle, and then Savage was also he was peeking him when he was focused on you. Just like so much goodness in that just one fight.
Yeah, I think like with playing with a certain duo, you get to know each other really well, and like how each other act. Yeah, during fights and stuff. So it can be a lot easier to get stuff like pinches if you know where your teammate is gonna be.
You just got outplayed so fucking hard.
We just fucked those guys.
When you're playing with somebody different than like, are you constantly just putting yourself in a position where you'll hope that it will work out, or like? Because I feel like, yeah, it's 100% chemistry, right? Just like not only just playtime, but just chemistry in general. Like you could play with somebody, you'll never actually develop that chemistry.
Yeah. I think like when I first started playing with Savage, I noticed that like our comms and our synergy was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could just tell from the start that we would be a good duo, just by the way we like come to each other and like fall and stuff.
Agreed with you, man. Yeah, I've only felt that way with a few people in all of my gaming career. Like it's I feel like it's lucky, but also it's
rare.
Yeah, it is rare.
You can build chemistry. I think you can definitely build chemistry if you work on it.
Yep, 100%. 100%.
Front collision.
I need to farm.
And there's also just the fact of like just hard work. No matter like if you don't have the same chemistry as you guys, right? You could still be really good at the game.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
You're just people who just constantly, every time they make a mistake. Sure, that is another difference of that's chemistry at a certain level, right? If you're comfortable being able to fix all those mistakes and stuff like that, but it's not just like the natural chemistry that you guys have.
I mean, something like Mongo and Mitro, they at the start, like they're both like some of the best. I think they're like the best mechanical players like in the world. And they did it like they became a duo. I don't think their chemistry at the start like was as good.
Yep.
But because they're so good mechanically, they can both do their like own thing, and that it'll pay out. Like it just works because they're so good. And then now that they've played with each other more, they've built chemistry. They know how each other play and stuff. They're just gonna get better, really.
Yep. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I actually saw that coming. Right. They both are not like, and this is no disrespect to them. The best players in like any sport are they have a very not interesting, but personality that's not always the easiest to play with, right?
Yeah.
Like you think of Michael Jordan, you think of Kobe. Like the best players are often like actually, and not saying that they're great people. I love Mitra, I love Marco, and they're nowhere near Michael Jordan and Kobe. And maybe they are in terms of skill, but like Michael Jordan and Kobe were assholes, you know?
Yeah.
They were complete dickheads, but they were still the best in the game. So yeah, I 100% agree with you. You don't always have to. You can build chemistry. It can come.
They're on a campfire. Might be
awesome. Oh, this was funny.
His friend's coming in.
You just realized he's on a campfire. He's stinking. Later.
Oh, yeah. They're gonna push. You should pop your minis. Drop in a big. Good shit, dude.
Oh yeah, this game is definitely more free. You can see like how he was laughing already when he killed the Vic.
Right, I'll build next to the guys though.
Right here, Savage went down, so I wanted to be careful. But then these guys came out of nowhere, and I didn't expect them to do this, but they. Oh, is it right here? I think it's right here. They built up on me and just heavy snipe. Tried to heavy snipe into my box. Like was really like crazy. So I was like, I do not want to mess these guys. So I just went down to Savage.
When there's a heavy sniper,
Did you like feel that they were people who would just like continue?
Yeah. I thought they were gonna just WKS because I'm pretty sure Savage at some point said like they might need points or something, which is probably what it was. Like they need like a 20 kill game or something to win. Like to qualify. So
there was a VOD we did way back. Like I think it was 72 hours in chat. Like legit had a call out to talk about the type of people that are near them. They're like, oh, these guys are psychos, or these guys are desperate. Desperate was the word that they said. It was like, these guys are desperate. They need points. They need whatever. They need mobility. Whatever it is, you need to get away from them.
2 spur. 5 kill.
Was that the way that you, MrSavage, went back down? I guess to get the loot, probably some mats or something like that.
Yeah.
You were trying to reserve the vent, right? Trying to keep that.
I mean, yeah, we just built and he went down to replace the match so we could stay full mats.
I'm gonna go up.
Yeah.
Okay. Hit Geyser. Hit 29 shields.
They're stinking him. I'm going on high ground.
Spraying.
Somebody I don't know if you follow basketball or anything like that, but Steph Curry and Clay, that's what you guys are. Somebody said in chat. I love it.
Okay, you've got the Geyser now. Did I get the airdrop? It's in a tree.
No.
Okay.
Thanks.
Same situation here where you guys like build a little bit of height just so you can spot and get vision on the entire map.
A launch pad.
Are you thinking about your materials, like how much you're investing into certain spots, or are you just building what you think you need to build for kills?
I think building what we need to build, like making sure we don't use too much, is quite good. Like, yeah, it's making sure you don't overuse mats. But like, let's say you kill something, like we killed the Vic there.
Yeah.
We know we can use more mats than we normally do because we can just go and replace them.
Like say you run out of mats towards you're getting low on mats. Are you guys pretty sure that you're gonna get extra mats when you kill people? Like, because I feel like you guys slay out an end game and you almost never end up in awkward situations except that last one with Mongrel in the end game.
Go on the Geyser.
Is that something you look for, like impact frags? That's something Cease and Elevate talked about a lot. Is looking for impact frags where you get a lot of loot, you get mobility or anything like that in endgame.
I mean, like if you see a baller just rolling around and you're gonna know that if you destroy the baller and kill them, then it's gonna be like a really free kill.
Yep.
No, not free kill, but like it's gonna be like really good like loot and stuff.
Yep. High impact. For sure. And then do you also make those reads on like whether or not, or how people are building, for example? Like, can you make those like subtle reads, like, oh, this guy's building like big, he's building a lot, let's try to kill him because he has mats.
Yeah, I mean, like if you see somebody building like a massive base, it's normally like 90%, like 95% of the time, it's because they've killed somebody where they are, and they're just using those mats. So you're gonna know they're on like the good mats, but we don't particularly focus somebody who we know has got good mats. We could focus somebody if we see them like turbo building brick and then they switch to metal, then we know they've like run out of brick and probably wood.
Yep.
So if we just keep spraying, then they're gonna run out of mats.
Yep. Yeah.
I hit one of them twice. The guys with the minigun.
Totally makes sense, especially people who are getting focused. It's really easy to tell. How do you feel about the minigun right now? Like, do you guys pick it up often, or is it not part of your repertoire?
I think in solos it can be really good. With stinks, if you throw stinks at somebody and then minigun them, you're gonna guarantee to get like at least like 60 or something damage. Because they've got to move out of the stink, but if you constantly pressure with a minigun, there's even a chance that like they might choke or something under like the pressure of everything, and then you can just kill them.
You think there's more pressure when there's a minigun versus just spamming an AR? Like mentally, there's more pressure, or is it like just physically? There's actually more pressure when you use a minigun.
I mean, like you've got to get out of the stink, and while the minigun's pressuring you, so if you go for an edit to try to edit out, then there's a chance like you might mess it up and then the minigun will keep hitting you.
Yep.
We should try to save our mats, really.
There's a lot of people who are just like picking it up just for the high ground potential, the high ground break potential, and also the high ground pressure from high ground. You guys don't care about that. You just stick with your guns.
Yeah, yeah. Stay with it.
Word.
Bro, what the fuck?
Guys, launch pad.
God tier.
Oh, wait, is it right there? Shit.
Oh, hey, you
Hey,
killed
60.
this guy again.
Knocked.
This is the guy you have sniped earlier.
Okay.
I thought the loot was further down here. I thought
Oh,
it was
wait,
down
is it
here,
right
but then Savage had him in
Careful,
his box. Seemed like the loot was down there, but
Good
Level.
recovery. That could have been bad if you kept going.
We've got an ace behind you.
yeah.
Drinking a slurp.
6 minis right here. I'm dropping dynamite.
I wanna go here.
Okay. I'm just gonna drop and land on top of it.
Build on top of these guys, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I want to go here. And you're just like, yep, okay.
Yeah, I thought there's trust in Savage that
We see if
he
we can hold
knows
anyone.
like why we're going there, so I don't really need to ask him why.
Watch out,
So
look east.
yeah, I just follow his comms.
Oh,
Even if even if it's a bad call, I think
We
it's
don't
a lot
need
better
points
to both commit
fucking
Yep.
qualifier.
to a bad call than
So we should
both
just
you
jump.
splitting
Yeah, I'll see if I
and
can get
having like
anyone
different
over now.
ideas.
Yep.
Being on the same page is really important.
Somebody's died out this guy next to me.
yeah. I would say like
marking it.
these decisions are split second. If you don't make them quick,
I'll
then
think
you're
about it.
it's worse than having made the right decision. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the right wording, but it makes sense. That's so
So
good.
is the only movement we have is a launch pad? No.
Yeah.
Guys,
And
can you
it,
spray
and it
north?
just gets worse. It just gets fat. The decision loop,
on the hill.
I guess is what I call it, where
We could launch
the
pad on the
time you
hill.
actually have to make the decision, it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller
Yeah.
as the game goes on.
Yeah, I feel really bad for Boy Cripper here. These are the guys who
Yeah,
were
guys.
thinking.
He's
It's their last game, and they might have been able to qualify. If they didn't get
Yikes.
focused by everybody right here. Felt quite bad.
Well, it's the way the cookie crumbles, man. It feels bad, but
Not really
be-
much you can do about it.
to be honest, yeah. I mean, we talk about gatekeeping. This is the best position. This is literally the worst position here, where all these people
Yeah,
are
it's
on
down.
the side.
Also, like low grounds. It's like it's going downhill while everybody else is on high ground.
Right on
It's
the
not a
edge
very
of
good spot.
zone. Even
Yeah.
the mountain is shooting you. Like literally the entire
Yeah.
map is shooting. Like maybe the only people who aren't shooting you is these guys. Like
Yeah.
it sucks.
Yeah, both dead. Oh no, still a guy above. He's dead.
That
I
sucks.
wasted all my stings.
Oh, do you have spare AR? Oh, it's 60.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's hold people north first, and then we use our.
We're gonna get held ourselves.
I'm curious, like how do you recover? Like I feel like a lot of Fortnite players have an issue with recovering from something like that when they get focused by the entire server. It's like we talked about
There's somebody
oh
over
my
there.
god.
100. I broke a shield. Right there.
We talk about tilting.
They're trying to loot.
But,
Not the
like,
green skin. There's a guy
That
above them.
situation is one of the most common things
M30.
where people get absolutely triggered, and it's very hard to come back from. How do you, like, obviously you guys, we haven't seen it at all today, but obviously it has happened to you. How do you
Yeah.
fix that?
No, wait, another guy landing right here.
So
I
that-
mean, what I like to think
Oh, wait,
is
guys,
like
guys in it. Oh shit.
I always want to be
Yeah, I
consistent,
think you're
getting
on the right spot.
good
Landing on
placement
top of this.
in the games where I have like
Right
a
up to you.
chance to do it, like where I have where I have like the items to do it.
Yep.
If I don't
Nice,
like,
shit.
at,
I've
or
still
like
got
getting
one
unlucky
now.
like
I've
that,
got two
there's no
60%
chance that you can get good placement when you're just getting sprayed by the whole server.
Yep.
Fuck.
So
Yeah,
I don't try and like make it my fault or anything. I don't. I mean, maybe I could have been positioned better or something, but there's not
It's-
much you can do about it at
in the
that
moment,
point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh,
You
down.
just
On us,
whatever,
on us, on
just can't do much about
Bro,
it.
these guys
You
fucking
maybe can
suck.
fix
Yeah.
it in
Holy
VOD
shit,
review or
they-
whatever later, but right, especially in the middle of a tournament, you
Gonna
have
drop
to
a bit
just
now.
be like, okay, well, just move on, right?
No. Very-
Do you guys have a difference in how you play in the finals versus the semifinals?
Would you do it? Would you drop down?
Semi-finals is a lot
Low
more
ground?
W key.
We're gonna-
We noticed
slow
that from
down a bit.
from playing the past ones,
Yep.
like World Cup warm up. W key, like, because it's everybody in Champion Division. Not everybody in Champion Division
Biggie, biggie.
is gonna be like
Twice.
amazing.
Tell these guys.
Yeah.
There's
Did
gonna
you
be, like,
notice a difference
still
from World Cup
some bugs.
qualifier to actual World Cup? Because it
He's
was
gonna move.
contenders back then.
I'm dropping.
Yeah.
Follow me.
I'm not actually sure. What are you talking about? The warm up?
Yeah.
Yeah, the warm up was
Nice, nice. I'm
contenders,
dropping
right?
more, dropping more.
I think I can't remember. We won the finals. Was that the one that we won? The warm up. Yeah.
They know I'm here. They know I'm
I think people play.
See,
People are more
I can take it
scared in these
Okay, now.
games than they are in the
Got it,
warm up.
got one.
Yeah.
You
We can take height,
you
we
can
take height. Oh,
tell
no, look up
just
here.
by like how people are
Look at that,
playing.
look. Oh, I got lasers. You can knock it out.
Headshot him.
Yeah, it's a bit different.
Yeah.
But we've
Just play
been
playmaker,
staying
playmaker
consistent in duos and like finals and stuff. So
With you? I got pumped.
Yeah. Okay.
You need to expand from me.
Yeah, I am. Just follow me. Just when you can. Follow me. Oh, I got blocked.
Oh,
right here, this is like one of the only
I'm safe myself
like
right now. Yeah.
Split
times we
position.
got split
I'm safe from me,
lately.
safe from me.
Yeah,
Follow
but
me.
somehow Savage still managed to get to me. I had no idea how, but and then there was a guy
Hit
here.
him
I
100.
got,
Hit him
Oh,
100.
I remember this. This is ridiculous. You
Zone.
pumped like
Right this
7
way.
people for
Hit him
100.
100.
yeah, I've got like no mats now. I was trying to look for a kill so badly, but I had
I'm
nothing.
dead. Play for yourself.
Unfortunate. I remember watching this and it was just like, oh, there's a guy in front of me. Hit him 100. Oh, there's another guy in front of me. Hit him 100. I'm just like, okay. All right, this is the one where Savage
Play
is
some points if you can.
clutching up.
Got enough mats.
And we talked about the comms that you had before, like when you're. Dude, this feels like everybody has max shield in this game.
Savage is out on mats right now. So if Savage died right here, we would have come second. He hit a really nice shot here on this guy.
Oh my
that shot.
god. That movement is
crazy.
nuts too. Like just
Yeah.
the shot and then moving to the right, just dipping. Even that little thing right there where he dipped slightly into zone. It's so solid.
Get a mats. Not
Good call. Good call.
Pop mini. It's behind Tetris.
I want to know like how many freaking like
go up all above it.
get super
No,
nerdy.
no.
How much
You can stay
actions
down,
you
I
were
think.
doing, like how much you're clicking in this freaking situation.
Yeah.
Because it's insane the amount of speed that you guys are having.
You're fucking shit.
Especially you guys, the low sense or the high sense crew.
Easy fucking
Yeah.
Let's fucking.
I've been thinking about lowering my sense a
Bobby,
bit
somebody got laser,
for the LAN, because from what I've heard, it's hard to
Turn it
like
down low
warm
ground, I
up
think
with high
there's
sense
not many people
at
with
LAN.
really
It's
high-
also
Nice.
you
Good mats.
can shake a lot more
Yep.
under LAN like
Good
conditions
mats.
on high sense.
500.
So I'm thinking of lowering it a bit, but I'm not too sure yet.
But you play ridiculously high,
Take
right?
height, maybe.
800. Yeah, that was a really nice shot. 800.14
Zone.
is quite high.
You don't need to play for height. You don't need to.
That's that's pretty high.
I want to get this double.
I was gonna say it's
Yeah,
not
no, you don't have
ridiculous,
enough
but
max, you don't
yeah,
have
that's
enough
pretty high.
60 mats.
I've been thinking about lowering it to like
Pretty
around
low ground,
0.8
kills,
or
and then-
something like that.
I think that is true though, that it is a little harder
Try
to
hold
warm up
people.
on LAN. But if you're used to it, have you been to LAN before?
Nah, never been to a LAN before.
You got a boot camp
Careful
with
above,
Savage before.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going to.
But even that's not going to be the amount of shakiness that you'll have.
Yeah.
Hey, but you
We're
got the
chilling,
two
bro, we're
tournaments to
chilling.
handle it.
Let's-
You got the two tournaments. You can chill.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much, dude. That was a blast.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Be fun.
We learned a lot, I'm sure. I definitely did. And congratulations again, dude. It's a huge achievement.
very much.
It's nuts what you've done the last couple of months. I've said it again, dude, but it's awesome. It's awesome. And you're 15, right?
Yeah, 15, just turned 15.
That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy. All right, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Thank you.
See you in a bit. Guys, if you obviously most of you guys know who fuck Benjyfishy is. You clearly know. But if you haven't, make sure you are doing all the things for him. Follow him. Go sub to him. Go sub to his YouTube. He actually put all these VODs up in like a highlight form up on YouTube. So make sure you check it out. He is a GOAT. He qualified for both the World Cup tournaments, the solos and duos. He's absolutely insane. Yeah, Zam, give it to him. Give it to him. Good stuff. On Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff. Besides that, yeah, I'm going to post this to YouTube. So if you did like that video, make sure you like, subscribe, and do all the things on my social media. And if you want this type of content, let me know in the comments below, because I am very interested in bringing on a bunch of pros and doing this kind of Q&A style thing. because it's a lot of fun. It's very insightful, even though like I asked some things that are, you know, I don't know. I'm not an interviewer, but I still enjoyed it. So anyways.